Not much. It's a short one. We're back, I think, on the 2nd. So I think we're done. We don't have school that Friday, so the next Friday is our last Friday for the school year. We'll go through Thursday, and then we're done. Yeah.
Thursday. That's silly.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yikes. Yeah. It's frustrating. Yeah, because in Indiana, we can't have half days anymore. Yeah, they took that away a long time ago. We're not allowed to schedule a half day. So what we've done is, like on our final day of testing for finals, we'll do finals, and like the last two finals will be in the morning, and then the afternoon is like activities and crap. So it's a waste of an afternoon. You just like schedule, games, and kids go to play basketball, and there's all kinds of just activities. So the ones who can drive leave. The ones who, like middle school kids, we're stuck with. Yeah. Right. Yeah, and I would have loved to, because it came down during our illustrious governor, Mitch. Yeah, my man Mitch. What's his last name? He's the president of Purdue University now.
You mean like our former rocket scientist, Rauner?
Yeah. Mitch McDaniel. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry. Yep.
Absolutely. All right. So I think if you're able to get into Roll20.
Yeah, I'm in there now. Question is getting into the game itself.
Oh, and you just hit launch campaign.
Where is that?
Little pink button.
Hold on. Pink button. I'm on the Roll D20 website. And it said recent games.
Oh, there's one called One Shot.
Mm-hmm.
And from the One Shot, all you got to do is hit that and hit launch campaign.
There says launch game.
That'll work.
Oh, there it is. I see it now. The Technoir. Oh, that's posted July 11th. That's definitely not it.
But it's literally called One Shot campaign.
Yeah, something's loading. Yep, there we are. I'm in. Yeah, see, on mine it just says launch game. So, whatever.
All right, so since it's been a week, do you want to do a quick recap of what happened to y'all last time?
Previously
on Technoir.
Knock it out.
Someone want to take with what you remember?
Yeah. So we were all having a beautiful evening of relaxed drinks with friends when we were approached by two members of the Bleeding Razors local motorcycle gang, looking for a friend of a couple of ours by the name of Pat and Ray. Attempted to divert them, initially with words and eventually with violence. That didn't quite work. Well, in the end, worked out, but could have gone better, I suppose.
Then they chased.
Yep. Remembered that I'm better at talking than shooting. Yeah, none of us died. That's very true.
It did result in a party foul of a pitcher of beer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's dead!
The true casualty. There was that one henchman that died, but really it's the pitcher of beer.
That's the saddest part of all.
Yeah.
You got coffee grounds in one guy's eyes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. So we then went to try and find Pen at her house. It was trashed. Computer had been ransacked. Computer had been stolen. Got a hold of her. She's on the outskirts of town. Went to meet her at a bar. got jumped again.
Like you do.
Yeah, like you do. And we're all still alive, although we definitely, I think, came away from the second combat much more injured than the first.
I got a scratched face and a gashed side, and
I didn't get hit at all.
no, you did not. And now we are in a vehicle piloted by a I don't know what you'd call her, but some sort of a cybernetic organism person, some cyborg.
Good.
Yep, who Penray had busted out of a Daedalus program building, I believe was the name of the folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the problems they had is essentially the way that she has been set up. They have put a bunch of very kind of large, bulky, experimental. These are like alpha products, cyber technology that is designed to allow her to actually hook up to like a number of different systems at a single time. Which the biggest problem there a lot of times is the fact that the brain does not multitask as well as we like to pretend it does. So at this point, you have got a. Is that one of the big problems is. This is not something that's normally done. The technology that she's got is incredibly new, incredibly experimental, very highly illegal.
Possibly volatile.
Yep. And it's one of those things that would be worth a lot to the right people, and also be a
now we're
gigantic
in
scandal.
Everyone's favorite, our new home APC, or what it's actually called.
The Tenser, which is like an armored APC.
Yeah. And camping out for the night, so I think that's where we left it.
Rested and ready to go, all patched up, and
Yes.
well, at least that's what I was planning on doing when
Yeah, we did at the end where basically you had an opportunity to treat each other's wounds. Mm-hmm. And now you are essentially in the sort of passenger compartment with Penn, and you have gone into the wilderness a bit north. Things are like the snow is starting to sort of slowly drift down. Things are looking quiet for the moment. If I'm recalling, I believe you had unhacked your phone.
Yes.
We did a roll to see if you could do that. So at least at this point, they may have known where you were at some point. Because I think you didn't get that until close to where you, like when you had left town.
Yeah, it was once I prioritized physical healing, and then basically once I had a moment and I wasn't bleeding anymore, I decided to unhack the phone.
Check your phone! I'm bleeding. Check your phone! I'm pretty sure the GM rolled a thing earlier.
Actually, there was something I kind of wanted to investigate a little bit. Was in the process of getting rid of this hack. Is there any information I can glean from that as to like when and like who it might have been that was tracking us? I mean, obviously the people that came to punch our faces in were affiliated somehow, but
Yeah,
Really?
you're pretty sure that group was not the ones to actually have done it, though.
yeah, they didn't seem the crowd.
Go ahead
Come on,
and make...
come on, the little guy we know was a hacker. Come on. Please, clearly. It was written all over his face.
Right before I punched it.
Or shot it. One of them.
Go ahead and make a hack roll. So it looks like I've got up on the near the top. Oh yeah, just to double check. Oh yeah, so those are the gang members, not you guys, that I have the things for. I'll just kind of put them up there. So yeah, we ended up with Sibo blinded until they can wash out his eyes. Vito is slowed and downed.
You
Trillo's gonna, well, those will get rid of it. Zip was out. And Welksy still had his painful arm.
poor guy.
Yep. So at this point, Luis, you have 3 push dice.
Yes.
Marcus and David, you both have 2. I have 2. And so now, you can go ahead and make a hack roll.
Okay.
And so remember for the rolls, you've got the amount of dice you have in your verb, and then you can use push dice from. Now, it looks like from what you're doing, At least like the first follow up is the first bit is to get some information. You might be able to do like a second roll there to see about trying to do some more stuff.
Okay.
So the first one, it looks like just you're sort of trying to probably put like identify.
Yeah.
You're basically trying to figure out who is doing it. So if you want to go ahead and make your roll, and then also double check the tags you have as far as what you want to add for your push dice.
Yeah, so I'm thinking being clever will most likely help me in this instance. So I'll go ahead and using push die in this instance will not give them to you. It's just kind of using.
Yeah, it's when you use the push dice, they just get discharged when you use them in a roll. It's when you have the ones you haven't rolled, when you use them to either sticky or make something permanent.
Okay, that's when they like go.
That's
away.
when they come over to me.
Cool.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll just use one of the push die on this one then. And I'll discharge it, so I'll make note of that. Alrighty. And
All right, and that's right. And you have anybody still have any hurt dice left over?
I don't think
no.
so. I think we fixed that last week.
Yeah, I think I probably got rid of that. Okay, you have a 6.1. So while I could, for example, use my 2 dice to kind of raise it up. Like looking at like the sticky stuff that they have, I would not be able to move it above the 6.1 because that is literally the highest you can roll in the game. Yeah, so you end up tracing it back actually to a Daedalus connection. The actual original IP originated within the arcology. Now, the Daedalus arcology came in originally, was this huge factory, tons and tons of jobs. For a while, the Twin Cities were booming, and then automation took over. Like, it's mostly roboticized now. They fired thousands of people, and it's essentially being set up as this like pleasure palace that the super rich fly into now. But inside there, it was somewhere inside the arcology is where the actual original IP trace came from.
Interesting.
I'm using IP trace like that's the correct terminology. If it's not, since you know more about that stuff, you just replace it in your head with whatever actually would be.
It's cyberpunk. Technology has become as indistinguishable from magic for us.
It's 284 megabytes of information. This will take a week to download.
Ow.
If you do it by hand.
You need a suitcase.
Dial up with a hamster?
It's actually just a hand crank, yeah.
1,200 or 900 baud modem there?
Yeah, beautiful. So then, I guess what I'm thinking of is, and this might just be one of those sort of world details that player doesn't know but character would. To be kind of, I guess, infiltrated like this, it seems to me that I would need to hit like direct contact with someone, or at least more than just like being in the same city as the arcology.
If there is someone who is able to sort of pinpoint your location, it is possible to hack you from a distance, particularly with what they would have in like an arcology.
Okay.
So, like a lot of the stuff, I mean, a lot of things will happen like closer, but they're able to sort of get onto your phone and such from that kind of distance is possible. Now, usually getting into like specific cyberware, that often requires someone being relatively close. It also depends on what your what tags you have are, like what's the place you can get a weakness. Is it like a dermal link, or is it just a linked, which means it goes to like you can link it remotely.
Right, and that makes sense because general tenet of security is the more things it's connected to, the least secure it is.
Yep.
So something like a phone, it has to be inherently connected.
Like
so,
this, secure as hell.
yeah, because it's
It's just a little thumb drive
you can't access it unless it's plugged in.
that I believe has a bunch of kung fu movies on it.
Ooh, sweet.
It's fulfilling its highest purpose.
Yeah, friend gave it to me.
All right.
Get much better than that.
Yeah, no, that's good to know. So I guess we'll where Daedalus seems to be coming at us with and I'll relay this information to my friends and just say, well, it would seem, Penn, and I'm sure you knew this, but you royally ticked people off by stealing her.
Yeah, my original thought was to get out relatively quick. I'm supposed to go to Adrian Chow with it, but right now things are a little too hot.
Yeah. It's hot's a word for it. Potentially lethal is another one I would use, but fair.
But she's suffering a lot. The amount of pain that she's in, she's sort of in and out. There's a number of drugs they keep her on to keep her from fracturing too much, but she's going to die if they kept her there too long.
Yes.
So what's the end game? I mean, do you want to release her and free her, or I mean, really, what's the ultimate goal here?
Chow wants the Tanzer. That's the thing that she wants, and I'm hoping in lieu of payment we could get Evangeline's cyberware altered change plugged up so that she's not being tortured like that. What it does to their minds. Most of them, when they were inside, they just would start to lose everything about who they were. Their minds would become shattered. If you had more than 2 different drones or systems they were plugged into, they might last a week. They've had her for months.
That would
Seemed like
explain.
it's terribly efficient.
That would explain the vigor with which they've been coming after us, though. I mean, I assume they're also the one leveraging the local muscle against us. But they're clearly taking this from 2 angles. They're sending people to attack us and tracking us, and we've got a lot on our plate right now.
Mm-hmm.
You said Adrian was involved.
I was going to basically bring the Tanzer to her. She told me that right now people are looking all over the place for it. There are drones and agents all over that I can't bring it to her directly now. I've got to wait for the heat to die down or do something.
Is it possible to contact her and get her to come to us?
She's contact for one of you.
Yeah, she's
Not me.
mine. And we are affectionate.
Penn's like, and she kind of terrifies me.
Oh, well, yeah, I could see that. At the same time, however, we are most certainly friends. We've been through a few things together, and I think in our hour of need, Adrian will be able to help us at least a little bit. I know her interests currently only extend to the vehicle, but she's not heartless for all her faults. So perhaps if we go to her, we can make this a little easier on ourselves.
The problem right now is just getting it to her, because if we try to take her, if we try to take the Tanzer directly to any place where she would be, well, it's going to be caught.
And that defeats the purpose.
Yeah, we definitely can't let her get veg in their hands, and besides, if they take her, what are we? Hamburger helper.
Mm-hmm. We did.
That's putting it mildly. Actually, there are worse things than being dead, which is what I think they'll come up with.
And that's what's her name, Evangeline?
Yes.
Yeah. If we can't help her, she probably would rather be dead.
Yeah.
She wouldn't last a terribly long time if...
All right. Well, we need to come up with a plan then. Do we want to try to trace where the trace came from and go there, or without the Tanzer, or do we want to
stick out like a sore thumb?
Right, or do we want to try to figure out a way to get what's her name? His contact, Luis's contact. Sorry, Caden's contact.
Adrian Chows?
Yeah, Adrian. Do we want to try to make it safer for Adrian to come to us?
How do you propose to do that?
I don't know. That would be something we can discuss, but honestly, no matter what we do, I think we are between a rock and a hard place.
I was thinking more like between a walnut and a hammer.
Yeah, not a good place to be.
Nope. Ah, bloody hell. Well,
He's back.
I am back. My apologies. I was muted twice even.
It's all right.
you were double muted? Is that like
I was double muted. Yeah. It was unfortunate. It was very
Well, we were
confusing.
just discussing our game plan and if it would be if we should go to wherever your trace showed the trace was from or the hack was from, or if we try to secure this area better for Adrian to come to us.
Yeah, well, the
Thoughts?
issue with charging into the archaeology, I imagine, will be survival.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I believe that's the textbook definition of stupidity.
yeah, so if we're gonna go that route, well, we definitely won't want to give anyone the APC first. We'll definitely need that,
Right.
and we would need to get all those who
I
were
don't
not
think we
willing
would
to.
make it 3 blocks.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah,
I don't think we would make it 3 blocks before we'd be a fireball.
it's a hefty vehicle, but you've got a good point. We'd be essentially going against one of the major established powers in town, and that's a fool's
Without knowing
errand.
the lay of the land, without knowing the we don't know the players. We don't have a program.
I think it would go perfectly. There's no flaw in this plan.
Qualified as tactical insanity.
All right, on 3. Get her!
Yeah, right. Exactly. Get
How's
her?
your plan,
That's your
Rick?
plan?
All right, so I think taking steps to further secure where we are, or finding a more secure environment, is probably best. Because then also we can sort of venture back out to figure out what our
Right.
next step is without
Yeah.
leaving
I
people.
mean, we
We could-
reconnoiter before.
Yeah, we
we
don't want to
definitely
draw unneeded attention to us. So being able to travel without the Tanzer probably is the best idea if we have to go out, whether we recon or not. And yeah, so we need to figure that out.
So, I mean, when it comes to our connection, I guess people that can help us, because I think we can all admit we're out of our depth here.
Definitely.
I know Adrian.
Yeah,
She'll,
not like a toddler being thrown into the deep end of a swimming pool.
but with bullets.
Blindfolded and hogtied.
Yeah, very much so. I know Madam Chow, and if we need to talk to her, I most certainly can. But so far as added security, I'm afraid I don't really know any people that would be good at that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like any of my contacts at this point are going to be able to help us. January and Arma.
How did I actually? Good question. How do I bring my character sheet back up again?
So the character sheets are going to be all the way on the right. There's a little newspaper-looking icon
Okay,
for the journal, and I actually recommend popping it out.
I got it. I just clicked on my name. I'm like, oh, there it is. I knew it was here somewhere. I just couldn't find it. There we go. Just want to see who I get, just in case.
All right. Well, I'm
A
going
lot of
to.
firepower on any side, any of us. Really.
I'm thinking we need to do a recon of the area. If we can, I'll be happy to go out and scout by myself for a little while, if that's sounds like a good idea, and just kind of see what's around us.
Yeah, get a lay of the land.
Yeah. So I'm gonna leave the Tanzer and start. I don't know, which way is the Tanzer facing?
Oh, so you're facing north.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna head east then, and then make a I don't know, maybe half a mile. See if there's anything in the area.
This is when I get super high tech and I go ahead and use Google Earth because it's cool.
Why not?
We got technology, we can do cool stuff. Yeah, so the sort of St. Paul, Minneapolis area is going to be a good deal change in certain respects, probably because of the arcology, but then which brought in a lot of the smaller towns, and there was some farming and such that had begun in places that used to be more residential. So in the place that you're at, there are.
I will be right back. I'm sorry, Laura just got home. I'm gonna let her in real quick.
Okay. There is a lake not terribly far to the east of you, and there's some farmland and some places that there used to be some houses, a lot of which a lot of the neighborhoods have been sort of torn down. You can still see little bits and pieces of the road, but a lot of it's been converted to farmland in the last maybe 10 years. There are, however, still small groupings of like cul-de-sacs kind of out in the middle of would be if it's in a standard sort of middle of the country area where you'd have a lot more space and then like a house or two. You've got like a lot more space, and then you've got like a small bit where you have like 4 or 5 houses that clearly used to be in like a cul-de-sac. And in those houses, it's hard to tell. You see lights on in a few. You don't know how many are going to be abandoned. But essentially right now you're a little far off the beaten track because you went from the bar that you met at and then traveled a bit ways and then went off-road because that sucker handles the off-road and rivers and stuff super well. And then just got yourself away.
Yes. Okay. Once I see that little area, and I'm not going to get too close. I don't want to attract any attention. I'm going to try to stay as close to wood lines and off the main trails as much as I can. I'm going to try to swing north, kind of arc back around the way, back toward north of the vehicle to come around to the west and check that area, see what's up around the north.
That area has been much more completely sort of taken care of as far as farmland goes.
Mm-hmm.
So in this area, you've got some strips of forest that were in places that they didn't bother to convert, but you do have farmland right now because it's winter and because the snows are starting to pile up a bit. It's a lot of big empty fields, a lot of hard ground, but the nice thing is you can see for a hell of a distance.
Okay, good. A lot of clear
flat land.
Kind of keep an eye on the skies too, looking for drones, trying to avoid any kind of detection. I believe, if I'm not mistaken,
and try not to look straight up.
Right.
Hard to do facial recognition if they're looking straight down at you.
Right.
That's where hoods are nice.
I have a 3 on my prowl.
You don't need to roll for.
I know.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that that was something that I came at fairly naturally, or at least had a good opportunity. Okay, and then back to the west. Am I seeing anything?
There's some cars kind of in the distance, moving along the highways, but as far as you can tell, nothing seems to have come at you from where y'all left. Of course, you went off road for a while, so it would have been difficult for a lot of vehicles to sort of track you, and the biker gang was not uninjured.
Okay, so they had to take care of themselves first.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
looks like you shoot a few of them.
Mm-hmm. Looks like we kind of made a clean getaway. I'm going to swing back, not as far. I'll start to head a little bit back toward the vehicle, but also go south to kind of cover, see where our tracks were, and see if I can't help cover some of those tracks to kind of throw it off if there are any.
Biggest thing is it's going to be very difficult to do so because the APC is not a small vehicle.
Right.
It's not a vehicle designed for stealth. You've got some areas where you kind of crunch through. What helped was actually going through the river.
Right.
So heading through the river area meant that there are some deep tracks and such here and there. Some of the mud will be like in the places that are shallower. Yeah, like there's a hell of a trace. But you actually followed it for a while and then came up out of it. So they could find kind of where you entered the river. They could kind of find where you exited. But whoever looks it's going to be taking them a little bit of time to actually look and find those things.
Okay.
What's the What's the distance to the nearest building?
Nearest building, we'll say probably about a half mile.
Okay,
Okay.
that's good.
So I'm going to head back to the vehicle, give them my findings, and see if we can't make a plan.
That building you said is about a half mile away. Does it look like it's a standalone, like by itself, or?
No, it's one of those that are part of a cul-de-sac.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's directly east.
Okay. Well, I mean, does it look abandoned?
Well, there were some buildings. It was hard to tell. There are some people in the area. There were some lights on in some of the buildings, but I didn't get a good enough look to know if there were, like, say, maybe a house that had a garage big enough to park this puppy in. I couldn't tell.
I was also thinking about, those are areas that could be used for shotgun mics and sniper rifles and
Sure.
shoulder-mounted rockets. given the firepower that this thing can handle in terms of what it can take.
Right.
I don't want to see anybody firing off, 120 millimeter mortars at us either. So,
Right.
Suitcase nukes.
yeah.
Dirty
Okay, that's a
bombs.
little overkill, I think, but you never know.
These people are desperate enough. You never know.
Just throw the suitcase at him.
Get the ringer.
Right. Well, horseshoes and hand grenades and all that. Close enough.
I may run and refill my drink real quick while we're waiting for Luis to get back.
Cool.
Good. I can go plug my headphones in and get them charged.
And I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Good choice.
We are taking a second while people are refilling some drinks because Luis had to go let his wife in. And currently, they are hiding out in a gigantic APC after having fought a biker gang and are now essentially trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do next because there's an entire corporation that could come down on them if things go badly. Basically, a friend of theirs stole not only a bunch of technology, but an experimental cybertech unit that was attached to someone that would allow her mind to be split among a bunch of different drones or other inputs at the same time, which generally the human mind is not able to handle. Highly experimental, highly illegal. And worth a crap ton of money. It is now in the back of this APC driving it while they are trying to figure out how the hell to get rid of it and help her. While a corp is maybe coming down on them because the biker gang that had been hired did not work. Just a sort of nebulous future, like maybe 2120 something. Don't have an exact time as of such. There might be some in Technoir itself. But a lot of times they just make it the cyberpunk future. Let's go back to the page view. One page. I know the new cyberpunk coming out will be 2077.
Alright, sorry.
Big ass fancy headphones.
Yeah, they're actually not that fancy. They were pretty cheap on Amazon, but they're good.
They look fancy.
Yeah, no, Laura got home after a bit of a hell of a day, so we were just.
Did she need people killed?
No, I think if it was that simple, we'd be having a different conversation. But she probably would have taken care of that herself.
Yeah. Well, we might do karaoke later.
Yeah, but no, but what it comes down to is I kind of need to hop off at like earlier tonight if at all possible.
Okay.
Just to have some time to debrief there.
Gotcha.
Is it the situation where we want to try and is it possible to try and reschedule, or is it just like it'll be a short session tonight situation?
Maybe do a short session. How much time? What are you looking at?
I was shooting for 8. I know that's only like an hour, but that was my time.
I'd be cool with that.
Okay, we'll touch base with
Yep.
everybody once they're back, but life.
Yeah.
Work
Gets
stuff.
even.
Yeah, just work stuff. Like one of her coworkers, who's usually useless, anyways, called off, and so it was actually just kind of 2 people. They were very short man, and
know that feeling. It's the worst.
oh yeah, it's the worst. So
I don't miss that being a problem with my job. like there are other difficulties that come along with my gig, but the fact of I subbed for someone today, but they actually had a great class of like 6 kids, so it was fine.
6.
It was
That's amazing.
It was like an advanced metal shop class where they're creating these Veterans Hall of Fame walls that go along the front, and so like they all know what they're doing. So I basically just kind of sat there while they took care of everything. I've had a few of the kids in classes before, so
Basically, make sure nobody gets their finger chopped off.
yeah. I mean, it's one of those classes where as a teacher you love it because, I mean, they're self-motivated, they are good at what they're doing, they are able to do these projects, so it's fantastic.
yeah, that sounds pretty ideal.
My old creative writing classes used to be like that. Then they just open them up to everybody. Like, it can be freshmen and sophomores as well. It's like they're not ready.
Yeah.
But if Luis, if you and Laura are interested, I might be hitting karaoke later tonight over at Clark.
Sure, yeah. We'll see if it evolves into needing some
Get out and have some
outside venting, get out of the house, situation. But I'll definitely offer that up. So thanks.
Sorry, gents.
No worries.
I decided while I was up that it was a good night for some coffee.
I've got the Jack and Coke going.
Nice.
I found out last week I can get Jack actually delivered, which is great.
Oh, nice.
So you finally found a place that will deliver?
Yeah, I did. And tonight I was like, I could have driven out, but I had pizza coming, so I wanted my monocles. So I. All right, so we are now at the point where I think Luis, you had missed while David had gone out. He had scouted the area that you're in. There's essentially a lot of farmland. You have a few places where you have what was essentially like used to be cul-de-sacs that have been taken over. A lot of them turned into farmland, but there are still some that's very clear that there used to be a larger subdivision in this area. This would have been before, you're all kind of aware, before the arcology essentially took over. Once they created it, you didn't need as many farming jobs when you had that many factory jobs, and then everybody got fired. Plus, a lot of people used to live in the arcology, and a lot of people used to live in the arcology no longer live in the arcology.
Right.
It's because they poor.
Yes. So you are now here with Penray and Evangeline, who's in the driver's section. Unable to deliver this to Adrienne Chow because there's a whole lot of heat on it, and you don't know how long before more high-tech stuff come your way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when they start sending Johnny 5 after us, then we're in trouble. But
No disassemble! Zap.
yeah, that's my attitude. No disassemble. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, they've tried once. There was some stabbing and slashing.
Once is enough.
Yeah,
I
once-
can't imagine they have anything worse than that biker gang you took care of in the bar.
Yeah, I'm sure that is peak difficulty.
If that was the peak, we're fine.
So,
Not
at
that
least for a while, before you've got drones and stuff coming up, and if you've got something flying up high enough, because there are the clouds and such coming in, the snow is starting to settle in and get kind of... There's a possibility it may evolve up into a blizzard. Because of rampant climate change, it's been difficult to tell. Sometimes it's a blizzard, sometimes it's just a little bit of rain. Hard to tell.
Oh,
You know how June is.
yeah. June in the Midwest. Delightful.
I like that. Could be a blizzard in June. Could be a snowstorm. Could be
Heat
nothing.
wave.
Could be a heat wave.
Well, you know the weather. It's the Midwest. If you don't like the weather, wait 20 minutes. It'll change.
Yeah, this is true.
What would you like to do?
Yeah, I would say in lieu of being able to, at least with my skill set, physically harden our location, I would be interested in taking a look at everyone's technological devices, and basically, if we could, keep us from getting tracked again. I know we're kind of off the grid, but it would be best if we kind of at least did our due diligence on our
Here's
technical
my
devices.
phone. Make her safe, man.
Yeah, see, you're able to, I mean, we're not even having to really kind of roll right now. You'll basically have to roll if someone does another sort of hack attempt. We'll say at this point, they had something on you, which you managed to shake.
Mm-hmm.
So you're basically able to go and then basically take off like, yes, we're going to stop allowing location access on your phone when we are fleeing and they've seen our faces on cameras. But you go through and sort of take care of those things and put it behind the equivalent of VPNs or whatever to make it much more difficult to remotely hack you. It might be possible, but if that comes, I'll make a roll against your hack.
Beautiful.
So you've taken care of those, and Pen Ray is just super nervous because she's clearly never been in, like, y'all been in this shit before, but she's just, I mean, we can't. They're gonna start sending out some sort of drones or something over the area to scan for us. There's heat traces that this thing's got to kick off have to be huge.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Is there a way to camouflage that? Can we?
You drive it into a snowbank.
Yeah. Well, that was a suggestion. But don't know that we have enough snow on
that
the
way,
ground.
or a lake. You can
True.
park it in the lake. Is it watertight?
One way to find out.
Oh, we drove through a river and we seemed to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I mean, is it like submersible? You know, like the M1 tank, for example, can be underwater for
Yeah.
like up to an hour.
Yeah. She goes. I don't know if it's submersible.
May not be best to test. Yeah.
I was just wondering if she happened to know. If she doesn't know, then I'm not going to assume. I'm not going to assume it is.
Cut to 5 of you on the bank of the river of the lake going.
Nope.
Okay, it did seem like a good idea. I understand why we did
Right.
that. I get it.
As one of our contacts comes out and goes, "All right, which one of you is the U-boat commander?"
Yeah.
All of us now. Yeah. Also, one thing to remember is the contacts and such. You are able to get a hold of them. They're able to help in different ways.
Yeah.
Sometimes more than just what's on your particular list there.
Sure. Yeah. Well, Adrian's involved, so it seems prudent to maybe put my to reach out. Not necessarily give her all the details.
You know what? That reminds me.
Hmm.
I have an idea. Speaking that, now that you mentioned that, Michael, it just made total sense all of a sudden. How would you like a large distraction? You think that might?
If we have a goal in mind, it's always good to get
I mean, if
people.
we're trying to get to a particular location, I was thinking that I have a friend who might be really up for a publicity stunt.
Sure, this
like,
would be the same
you know-
friend that helped us the first time.
Yeah, drove us there. I'm thinking, remember YouTube, Remember that ancient band U2 that when they did they shot a video on the roof of a building. The cops were freaking out all over the place, and everybody and their mother showed up.
Yeah.
And one of those impromptu out of nowhere, big time, media star shows up and starts having, out of putting on a concert or just maybe giving away, t-shirt cannons and something along the, I don't know, something like that. Something that just gains a huge amount of attention, which will also gain security attention and police attention and take it away from the look. It's like the best time to go rob a bank is during a parade.
Sure.
So like, maybe she could pay off a bunch of layaways, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you get a car and you get a car. Like you have an Oprah moment. I don't know if she's got that kind of money, but
I mean, you're either very rich or very not. It would seem in this town. So.
And she seems very rich.
Yes.
Yep.
I think it might also be useful if we're just. I mean, and Penn, I know where you stand on this, but Evangeline is, lack of a better term, she's an innocent in all this.
Yeah.
She's done nothing, so we need to figure out what exactly we want to accomplish with regards to her. Obviously, safety is ideal, but considering the fact we can't secure our own at the moment, I think it's just best that we talk about exactly what we're trying to get done here. Do we want to go after the people that have tried to attack us? Are we just trying to get Evangeline the hell out of Dodge, or?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, ultimately, the goal, according to our friend, is she wants to help to get her separated from this vehicle and any other vehicles like it. So, if the vehicle is sacrificed, that's not an issue, but we need to keep the driver safe.
Yes.
Evangeline, is that her name?
Yeah, Penn was like, Evangeline currently is. You kind of look over and you can sort of see a little bit through, almost like armored glass, that she sort of slumped over in the seat. And Penn lets you know it's like she's in a great deal of pain. That she's able to put through essentially painkillers, which knock her out for short periods of time. But I'm able to wake her up, and that she sort of holds. There's a little like a holographic thing on her arm that's sometimes used like a phone type stuff, but there's some things on there as she kind of puts it up that there's a few different buttons that she's able to essentially use to wake Evangeline up.
So it's like a remote type of a thing.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I have to deal with a kitchen emergency. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think. Well, so the Daedalus being a major player in town, they're also kind of a national thing, or are they more of a local power?
They are. I mean, they're a huge local power, but Daedalus is also one of the key, like, cutting-edge suppliers of cybernetics. And because of that, there's people who want, like, the most recent, expensive, and useful cybernetics go to Daedalus. Now, a lot of this eventually the stuff that they've worked on kind of trickles its way down to cheaper prices as they move on and become fairly common. But Daedalus is, if you've got a lot of money, you fly into the Twin Cities in order to get some of the best stuff. Now, they've also got that huge pleasure palace that they've built up where the archaeology was and all the people used to live.
I'm checking my arm for Daedalus markings, making sure that it's not a Daedalus brand.
We'll say there's a pretty good chance all of you have kind of off-brand or kit-bashed. Like, good cybernetics, but a lot of the actual stuff has been stripped out. Like the original, so you're not, like, hooked into a particular corporation.
Right, I don't want my arm going crazy on me. Hey, I can't stop.
Have you seen Upgrade?
Yes.
Upgrade? No.
It's a surprisingly fun movie where a guy gets, like, he basically gets a computer chip in his head, which allows him to kick other people's asses. And I like to call the actor who plays him not Tom Hardy. Because when you want Tom Hardy, but you can't afford Tom Hardy, this guy looks a lot like Tom Hardy.
The poor man's Tom Hardy.
Well, the hilarious thing is it the whole game, there's a game called Wield, which I absolutely love, which is you play both an ancient item of power and the wielder of another player's ancient item of power. And so it's like the One Ring kind of thing. Like you can like destroy cities or whatever. But there's a the companion's got some stuff, including like a cybernetic thing, where it's like the cybernetics are trying to gain complete control of the people who have them.
Oh, fun.
And so, like, the funny thing was watching Upgrade going, this kind of feels like that Cyberpunk Wheeled game in, like, a super cool way.
Nice.
See, when you said Upgrade, all I thought of was the name of, and I can't remember if it was Idiocracy. The one, the character's pimp was named Upgrade, with three D's for a triple, or 2 D's for a double dose of pimping.
There you go.
I've not seen that yet. I'm aware of it.
It's stupid, but it's stupid humor, but it's worth it.
All right. I'll say about this time where you're trying to decide exactly kind of what to do. Nick.
Yeah.
Your phone rings. It's Calico.
I'm like, my phone rings. I'm like, who's calling me? I look at it carefully, like, yeah.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Cal, what's up?
Well, I have some friends of yours here.
That's simple.
Found some footage of me picking you up.
I see. Let's see. So are we talking about pleasant footage, or are these pleasant friends or these unpleasant friends?
Well, the gun I got pointed at me right now is less pleasant.
Okay, pineapple salad.
And
Got
then
it.
There's a moment where you can kind of hear the phone being handed off.
I was just gonna go give him the phone.
He goes, Nick Stiletto.
Yeah. Who's asking?
That can't be a real name.
Really, we're gonna debate names? Get to the point. I got places to go, people to kill. Hurry up.
I'm Leori. You have something that belongs to us. You have 2 things that belong to us.
Okay.
His balls.
I was like, yeah, I've got a watch. I got one thing for you, but you're gonna get to the point, and are you just gonna stand around and play tough guy from a dime store novel?
I don't got to play tough guy right now. I've got your friend Calico. I have her bodyguard, who's listen, Reggie. Was that his name? Yeah, Reggie. Apparently, he fought well, but he was outclassed. We would like the Tanzer back. We would like the other package back as well. And we also would like the scientist that's with you, so that we can take care of a leak that occurred. And all of you get to go back to your lives. And Calico gets to go back to her shows.
Right, and you know that kidnapping kind of someone who's kind of famous is not real good for putting, for keeping things in the dark where you need to be, Shadow Man. Because the reality is, that was a really stupid move on your part. Because if she's not in certain place, remember, she's got all kinds of needs to be in certain places, and if that happens, then an awful lot of attention starts showing up. Attention you're not going to like. So why don't we talk where to meet and get this formality out of the way?
Okay, sounds like you're trying to put like intimidate or something on him.
Yeah,
or
sure.
Nervous.
No, it's more like you're bothering me. Just I'm trying to make this guy feel like I want this guy to realize he fucked up, because yes, let's kidnap the YouTube star. And nobody's going to notice that yet. Oh, the person with 9 million followers is not going to notice when she suddenly doesn't have her weekly podcast, kind of or her weekly show or whatever.
Where's Mark Maron?
Yeah, right. But I mean, it's like if like for example, if Jacksepticeye, who's supposed to be on on tonight, he's always on this night at this time, blah, blah, blah. He ain't there. It's going to suddenly bring a lot of attention. When you're somebody with 9, 10, 11 million followers, guess what? News media suddenly gets involved. And news media people have a tendency they always ask these uncomfortable questions. So I want him to kind of like second guess himself a little bit.
Okay.
To think like, oh, yeah, kind of he's right. So I'm guessing Cokes would be the right one.
Yep.
All right. And then question is, I'm wondering if Intuitive, Deadly, or Alert might maybe go into this as a, clearly I know what I'm talking about. I mean, he's over here making fun of my name. That's not terribly professional. So.
I think at least one of them. I mean, like the intuitive, at least, is you kind of making the leaps. Deadly is gonna be a little bit.
I'm not trying to scare him. I'm just trying to make him go. Oh, I'm trying to make him second guess himself. Is really what I'm kind of getting at.
Question.
So,
Yep. So yeah, I guess it would just depend on. So you're using one push die or two?
well,
I'm assuming you probably at least want to sticky it.
Yeah. So we'll do the one.
Okay.
Okay. So I was able to click on the coax.
Click on coax. I believe it should ask you push dice.
You did.
And then just put one on there.
Okay.
That's the one push dice you're activating for your tag.
Right. I'm just trying to get my character sheet and the input value up at the same time. So there we go. All right. So the one die, and we're going to submit. Oop. How about with a left click this time? Click and drag to roll the dice.
All right. A 6, a 5, and a 2. That's 6 is going to do it.
Now that I realized what I was doing wrong earlier in the previous ones, now I know where to click. Because I was tapping on it and nothing was happening. Now see the 3D dice is cool too.
All right. So what is the you wanted to put? What adjective do you want to put on him? Like second guessed or second guessing?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of there's a better word for it.
Kerfluffled.
Kerfluffled. That's a great word for it. Actually, what's the word for when you second guess yourself? Unsure.
Unsure.
I want to make him to be unsure of himself. Basically, I want him to. I really want. Yeah, second guess is fine.
Okay.
But
I mean, unsure, second guess, both of those. I mean,
yeah.
we don't have to. It's not like, well, that the difference is that would be second guessing.
Right. No, I'm just trying to find. I'm trying to find the like Schadenfreude. The term that actually, when you look at it, it really is one word, but it actually is an entire paragraph.
Okay. Do you want to use your other die to make it sticky?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Have a die.
Sticky means it will essentially still be there when you see him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'd be able to. So yeah, you'll use one die. I will be up to 3.
So basically, whenever we run into this guy, if we run into him anymore, he will second guess himself if you're around. So
right.
Yeah. So it will work on him as a hurt die.
Okay.
I mean, there'll also be the fictional aspect if he'll be there, but like when he rolls, he'll also roll a hurt die, which will remove one of his. Well, we'll remove any dice that have the same as what he rolled.
Right. Basically, I'm just getting him to second guess his tactics and go, "Oh shit, what did I actually do?" And now that's that little bug in the back of his head going, "You screwed up. This is stupid. We're all gonna die here."
You hear like a little bit of a like he's put the hands over it. Then you hear this muffled, like, "How many followers does she have?" What?
nice.
And I did. Oh, now is this a video call or is this just an audio?
Audio.
Okay.
He was.
The other two, you guys both see this big shit-eating grin on my face, like, I got him. This bitch is mine.
If we have a lot of resources, but if we're able to talk through this and not have anybody be killed, that would be better.
It's always advantageous not to have bodies.
Agreed.
Duh. Doesn't work for your bottom line, definitely doesn't work for mine. So, where are we meeting? Pick a place. Oh, on second thought, we'll call you back. And I hang up on him. All right, guys, where do we want to pick a spot?
Oh,
I mean,
man.
you reconnoitered the area.
Yeah.
Or not, what did you find? Anything else that you think might work?
There's the little area where there were a bunch of little homes, and some of them were abandoned, some of them weren't. There were some farms. It didn't get close enough to any of those to make sure they were abandoned, but I would imagine either the subdivision has a home or two that might be unoccupied, but there are other innocents in the area, and a potential to be ambushed there. My thing now, Michael, correct me if I'm wrong. There was a farm north.
Yeah.
Okay. Whether it's occupied or not, I'm sure we could probably cause a
Make it
distraction
unoccupied very
to
quickly. I'm
get
sure.
them safely out of there to meet there.
I do believe the point of a barrel of a gun and go leave usually works pretty well.
And that was the space, if I remember correctly, there was enough wide open space. We had a good view of everything.
Yeah, I mean, there's basically, because like right now, if it was the middle of the summer, you'd have cornfields bean fields in some places, but you wouldn't be able to see for shit. But right now, it's winter, so you have a very clear view.
One small thing, Michael. I think you took the push die from David, not from me.
Oh.
Well, I like having 3 dice. I don't think David's gonna want.
Maybe because screw him.
Yeah.
What happened to my push die? You lost it, sucker.
My character's probably going to die tonight anyway, right?
I told it. Yeah. Stole your push die, man. Sorry.
Thank you for catching that.
I appreciate that too.
I just
All right,
prefer
so
accounting to be accurate. That's all. If I'm gonna die, I want to die legitimately.
You want me to go back and recon that specific
No,
farmhouse?
I don't want to waste the time. I want to head in that direction. Now, did it have a 2-story, 3-story maybe? Like the barn?
There's a barn outside of it, and then like a two-story house.
Like a farmhouse.
Does it have it doesn't happen to have a grain silo, does it?
Sure, why not?
And a basement?
I'm looking for a position. I'm looking for an enlightened position, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, as far as like a higher up position, we'll say there's a grain silo sort of across the way.
All right. What do you say we do some prep work? See if we can get these knuckleheads to show up around 2 hours. Is it going to be enough time?
That should be.
We clear the farmhouse, get ourselves a little bit situated, because we are going to be outgunned and outnumbered big time.
Yeah,
Right.
so
No question.
how are you thinking we win this then?
Well, my thought is we make this exchange, but we want to make it on our terms. We don't want it to be on theirs.
So your intention is to give up the armored vehicle,
No, my intention is
Ben Ray's like, what?
my intention is to draw this idiot out there. Clearly, I'm in his head.
Sure, but to what end? We win when they're all dead, or?
Well, we could do that, I suppose. I wasn't planning on burying anybody necessarily, but
Well, nor was I, but I don't imagine they're also going to just give up. They've already, it would seem, assuming again these are hired guns and not the direct employees of Daedalus still, probably.
And I'm sure that dude I talked to was.
He might have been, or he could just be a slightly more intelligent.
I mean, he sounded like a middle manager at best.
Yeah, probably middle management.
I mean, this guy probably should be. This guy should be like the guy probably should be the district manager for a couple of 7-Elevens, and that's about it.
Well, fair enough. I guess
somehow he ended up in the Black Ops division. He must be, really good on his knees. But anyway,
so if we're not going to kill them, then the only way we come out of this keeping the people safe we need to keep safe is by.
I'm not letting Cal hang around with these dirtbags any longer than necessary.
Absolutely, and I understand she needs to come away safe from this as well. I'm just curious how calling them to wear everything they want is advantageous.
Say we had to bring everything with us.
Well,
remember you don't show up with the frickin' plans to the Death Star and to meet up with the whatchamacallit to do a prisoner exchange. No, you have them somewhere else. The question is we got to figure out where to stash the vehicle.
Right.
And
so
eventually somewhere else, but I just wanted to pick a location that it was definitely someplace we can meet. We can have our quote-unquote exchange in a place that's we're the ones in charge of it, not them.
Sure. I guess I'm just trying to figure out how because if they're going to, as you said, we're going to be outmanned and outgunned, we need to also keep this from devolving into a violent situation. And I don't see how we do that. We have no leverage.
We can crowdsource this.
Well, if we're only giving ourselves 2 hours, I don't imagine we'll have much time to.
No, but you know how flash mobs work, right?
We're on the outskirts of the town, and
that doesn't mean much. Fans will find a way.
Fans will find a way.
Fans will find a way, man.
All right. Well, that's something. So
I'm thinking of that as a. Do you remember in Raiders?
Yes.
Raiders of the Ark when the children come in as better than the U.S. Marines, as Sully called them.
Huh. So
my thought is the fans show up. It's like, oh, it's an impromptu concert, and then becomes a big distraction, and they have to quietly they have to kind of like, ooh, we've got to get out of here because we don't need the attention. So that hopefully will prevent the bloodbath because that's the last thing that they want to do.
So if someone wanted to do that, if you had a way of setting it up, you actually could put essentially a crowded hurt die on the scene that would, because you're setting it up, it would affect the enemy probably a lot more than, I mean, unless you start shooting, in which case it'd be a problem for you as well.
Right.
But you would be able to put essentially a crowded adjective if someone has a way of setting something like that up.
So basically a rave.
Yep.
Right, but my
That'd
thought
be a
is
big
this: we
fun.
do that, and maybe we get some. Maybe we can get a. If we're really lucky, we can maybe get even a news helicopter or something. Something that's just really obvious that there's just way too many people, and it's way basically because we know they're going to show up in force. So
Yes.
we need to counteract that.
Yes.
The way we counteract that is we bring in attention, because nobody working in the black side of in the shadows wants any light. They're like cockroaches, man. So we need our light for the refrigerator, basically.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good, because I was trying to figure out what we do in the large issue as well, and I think even more attention might actually be the only thing we can do moving forward.
Since you're more techie than I am,
Yes.
I'm thinking maybe you can operate the necessary keys and such to
Get the
maybe
word
kind
out.
of like get the word out so that we, hey, it's such and such a time. I heard this rumor that she's going to be at this location, and get them there, and all you have to do is drop the little breadcrumb. Trust me, the cockroaches, ants, rats, and whatnot will come all out looking for it. Because it won't take long for that to spread like wildfire. We'll be trending in no time.
Yeah, well, we go for some social engineering. Buy
Exactly.
a crowd.
I don't know what skills we would use for that in terms of.
We'll probably we might need a person, and then we'll need, because she essentially, or be leveraging her fame, which is helpful.
I'm just trying to figure out what the best way. I mean, coax.
Might I suggest something that would probably come to Luis? Because you're the hacker and such, right?
Yes.
Well, so on the one hand, so a couple things. If you end up spending like one die and put like a crowded stuff on it, someone could essentially do the Die Hard thing of like firing the gun in the air, then everyone starts to run and get rid of it like in action. If you spend 2 push dice for it, you can make it permanent, where essentially there's so many people. If you hack into her social media,
Yep, I was just gonna say that.
That's what I was thinking.
and yeah, that would be a way of getting people places.
Yeah. So this will be
You
fun.
have your marching orders.
Yeah, this will be fun. So I'll go ahead and with my limited access, but try to weasel my way into one of her social media accounts and maybe splice together a little some what looks like a legitimate video or
Okay. The nice thing for you is you're not going up against a very difficult. It's not like a hacker is trying to keep all this stuff out.
Sure.
So actually accessing it's not that hard. So it just depends. I mean, if you want to make it a permanent, which means a shit ton of people, you'd want to save 2 push dice to spend to create the gigantic amount of people.
Right.
If you want to have a smaller amount of people who could be essentially caused to flee relatively easily, then in that case, sticky would do it.
yeah. Well, I'm thinking the more people, the better.
Yeah.
Because
It's better for us. If nothing else, we can blend in and disappear.
yeah, well, because ultimately what we'll need to do is get Calico away from them.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, she'd have to be away long enough to do the performance, because it might actually come down
Remember,
to
it doesn't even have to be a performance. It's just we saw that she was going to be there. Hey, I just saw her. She's over at such and such.
So it's I see.
It's
So
more of a, do the whole, like, I don't know, like Michael Jackson used to, when he would go out in public or whatever. He used to go out in disguise, because if he didn't,
sure.
throngs of people, and that's the idea I'm going for, is that fervor.
No,
I had an Unknown Armies game that ended a couple months ago. That like we wrapped it all up, but one of the main characters was the avatar of the star, so her whole thing was being the center of attention, and she was a touring musician. So she would use the shit out of her like Twitter account and Instagram to pull people places.
Yeah. So yeah, that we'll try and get as many people here as we can, and then use that as a smoke screen so we can get away clean.
That's exactly what I intended for. It's like throwing a smoke grenade, only it's got feet.
All right, so if you want to go ahead and I'm assuming probably a hack roll in there to try to basically push up her social media.
Yep. So we'll do that hack roll, and then I only have 2 push dice. So.
I'm showing you listed with
No, you
3
got
from
3.
last time.
Oh right. Well, I guess that one would have recharged. Now
Yeah, the one recharge. So, like here, if you use 1, you're only going up against about a 2. Like it's not like a highly. Like
Right,
the account is not being protected actively.
Yep. And I'm only fooling the public. So.
Yep.
It sounds like it should. That's super easy.
Yeah. All right. So we'll use the one that I would have in reserve otherwise, and then the other 2 will be going to make this the giant crowd. Correct.
Okay.
Alrighty. And
Oh, 4 6s. Jesus.
Holy
You have a
crap.
6.1, and that's the most you can go is 6.1. You fail.
that's incredible.
Yeah, you got like a 6.3. That's what that is.
You fail.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you'll do very well. Do you want to spend the 2 push dice to make it permanent?
Yes.
Wow.
Of course, we just gave him a giant pool of push dice, but that's all
Oh
right.
yeah. But at the same time, we kind of need the upper hand here. So.
Well, yeah, because if nothing else, because all I can see now is that when the shitstorm begins,
Yeah, it'll be a little harder to run away.
Yeah, we never better have a big ass umbrella.
Wow.
So you'll spend those other 2 to make that a permanent thing.
Sorry, I didn't mean to give to me that strong a visual, but all right.
So what are you telling people?
Well, to lessen the idea that necessarily there needs to be a performance in order for people to stick around, we'll just say that she was seen in this area. Are we in the rundown neighborhood or the farm? I don't know if we. Well, I guess they're both nearby, so we'll send them to the farm because you had said you kind of wanted the elevated position. So
Well,
we'll
I want them basically, and I want them if they like. I was thinking along the lines of like a rumor that she's supposed to be here at this time, and I hear that it's like an impromptu meet and greet because she's got time between this and then some other place she has to be, and she's chilling with this at this area where she knows a whole bunch of people can easily show up. She thinks it'd be really cool to have, and maybe she's shooting a video or something, whatever. I mean,
All right, so
come up with some bullshit excuse for people to show up where they could maybe meet her while she's there.
absolutely.
And get pictures taken and all that kind of stuff. So they're coming up with, oh my God, I get to see so and so.
Yeah, so it'll be not impromptu. It'll be exclusive
There you go.
face to face with the famous Calico North on her way back into town from her recently super successful or from secret dealings with her record company, let's say,
In Canada.
she's cutting the album, whatever. She's coming back into town, but she's having this meet and greet out at this area, and only she puts this to her fans as a way to show their devotion,
Right. She's giving back.
to make it out to this, because it is out, we're still outside of town, so it's a bit strange. I'm thinking that it's happening here, but so I guess to explain that away would be the idea of like it's a test.
Oh, even better. Better. Make sure that she's got a limited number of tickets.
Only true fans.
Only true fans.
Right. Only true fans will show. She's only going to give them to true fans. So you're going to have to be able to prove that you're a true fan, and you have to be here at such and such a time
Yep.
in order
Retweet
to
this.
have any shot.
Yeah.
Retweet this because it's in the next 2 hours. If you're not there in the next 2 hours, basically you're going to be closed out of it. So
Hashtag farm rave or something.
yeah, something like that. So, but but it's like a ticket giveaway, and you get your picture taken and all that kind of stuff with her. Those selfies with selfies with Calico. But that way it's like now it's exclusive, and it's like a limited time only, and so the adrenaline and the endorphins will run rampant. So
Exactly.
those people who need to on their Calico fix, we'll get them there. So we'll have rabid fan better. So,
Even better.
So David, you said you were scouting. Are you kind of keeping an eye on the farm as you're waiting to see what shows up?
Yep.
Okay. Well, first we'll say, I'm assuming someone calls back.
yeah, I'm gonna call him back. Let him know. Give him the location. Be here, and it's short. I don't even let him give a chance to answer. It's like I call her phone. I'm like, this is where we're gonna be. Be here at this time. Click.
You can almost imagine you hear this click. Like he's like they're at a farmhouse in the middle of the country. This couldn't be easier. So, David, you're in the wonderful position to sort of like, as you're sort of looking, you see the first couple cars kind of pull up and on there, like a couple of them, and then this like probably 60 to 70-year-old farmer guy just sort of gets out, and you see him sort of just like like walking up to the car, and these kids that get out are like, what type of music? I can't remember actually what kind of type of music Calico is.
I don't know. I was thinking
Trance.
There you go.
I was thinking, kind of house music, DJ type stuff.
Okay, so yeah, you've got a bunch of like people out there, like they're wearing it's like sexy winter clothing, like they're cold but only on most of them. Like
Most of them, right?
like hula hoops and everything else are all sitting there, and the guy comes out and you see like these excited teenagers in like early 20s getting out and talking, and this very confused looking farmer just sort of talking, and you see him kind of like point like you should go back, but you see other cars sort of heading up the way, and he's just staring like what? And one of the kids like shows him the phone, and like he looks super confused while all this is happening.
If I'm available, I'd like to kind of try and diffuse the situation with him at least, and just
find a
talk
way to escort him away off to the side so he's not in a line of fire.
That would be me because I'm right there.
Yep.
Yes, there you go.
Yep. I'm gonna go and try to get him back to go in the house and tell him this is happening whether you want it to or not, and it's in your best interest to get out of Dodge. I'm just telling you, it's viral and we can't stop it, and I'm really sorry.
This is my property. I've been here for. What do you mean it's happening? I'll go ahead and make your probably it's a Coke's roll probably.
Yes. Okay. Let's see.
God damn it, David! That's gonna be going through my head all night.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You know what? I mean, there are people showing up with mushrooms. I guarantee it. So,
what is going on? What did I do? Hold on.
Well, he's trying to get Farmer John here off the out of the area. I'm gonna head up into the barn because it's not like it's a farm with a lot of security, I'm sure. So, of course, watch I get kicked to death by a mule or something. Anyway, climb up in the upper level. I want to because you said basically I'm hoping for a spot where I can see toward the road. Mm-hmm. Kind of keep an eye on things, and watch out for our corporate knuckleheads. So obviously the fans got there a little earlier than I anticipated, but okay.
Yeah, that's definitely enough. I'm fleeting on him is going to work because it'll get him away.
Okay.
So you don't have to like sticky it because like other people are arriving and that guy's like these people are freaking me out.
I give him a small amount of cash and I say, find the closest cafe, have yourself some dinner, coffee, pie, whatever will keep you away from here till the morning.
Morning?
Yeah, it's gonna be a nightly. This is gonna last the night. Sorry, man.
You see, like him and his family, like very confused, and like kind of head out into the car, and just like I'm gonna talk with the authorities about this.
We'll cover the damage.
Yeah.
And cars are starting to pull in. They actually get out before they end up like getting essentially trapped by the cars that are showing up.
And that's what I was afraid of. So now that I've gotten them out, I'm going to recon the house and see if there are any anything of use, whether it's weapons, ingredients for weapons. Is there a basement?
Well, there's a storm cellar probably.
There is a basement. There is a very thing. Oh, it's a blueprint for a shotgun. 2 steel, 4 threads, and I'll be able to put it in the machine.
Chrysanthemum.
Ding. Yeah, there's a basement there. There are like you do find like some shotguns and such.
Okay.
In there, just essentially the stuff they would use. A lot of what they have is there's buckshot from some for scaring off like little predators that might come through, but
nothing super lethal, which is fine because I don't want to really kill anybody if I don't have to.
I just want to sort of kill people.
Well, sort of want to wound people.
Just a little. I want them a little dead. Not all dead.
Mostly dead.
Exactly. So, yeah, I'm playing lookout up above, waiting for what looks to be I mean, the problem is now we've got this stream. I'm like, okay, this is one of those, like, you rolled so well. Unfortunately, I got overkill with what I was going for.
It's gonna be great.
Well, the roll it's not like a critical success. It just means that, yeah, like folks are gonna show.
Yeah, people will definitely be
Right.
here.
That just means I was kind of hoping for a 4. You gave me a 6.1. Okay, I can do it with this.
So the noise level is going to be fairly large.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of noise. So my thought is, if we have a rifle, the sound of a rifle firing at the peak of the noise would be masked for the most part. So any drones coming into the area could be easily dispatched.
Shotgun would be perfect for that.
Yeah.
All right.
As people are kind of showing up too, I'd like to, because so we've driven the vehicle over here, so we've got Penn and Evangeline in there as well. So at the very least, I'd like to just kind of be talking to them and letting them in on the plan, because I did the social media thing and then I was pretty much free. So just kind of talk to them, let them know, just like we're not turning. We have no intentions of letting anyone take you anywhere you don't want to go.
But they're also our escape route.
Yeah, I was going to say, but at the same time, this vehicle is our best way out of this situation. So what we need to do is we need to get Nick's friend into this vehicle, and we're going to have to keep running.
So
we get to Cleveland. No. Which is maybe worse than turning ourselves in. Hold on a second. Never mind. Forget that plan.
Should we park this in the barn?
Somewhere, the barn seems like the best place for it to be, near at hand as an escape route. But
we should definitely go through the barn.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
If it needs to, it can use a wall.
Yeah.
And it's got sphere wheels, so essentially it can go like. It doesn't just go forward thing. It could go.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So yeah, if we could, we'll park the Tanzer in the vehicle in the barn, and I'll stick close to the barn and keep an eye out from there.
And so Marcus, you're up on the grain silo, kind of keeping an eye on things.
Yeah. Actually, I was in the upper level of the barn, really.
Oh, okay. And David.
Yep, I'm in the house, getting the shotguns together, and I'm going to be in the upper floor of the house, kind of keeping an eye out for the drones, etc.
All right. You see the drones actually starting to make their way first. You can kind of see like way down the road, like there's a whole bunch of the cars and such are starting to like line up. There are a couple cars that are coming straight ahead that are actually like all the cars that are along the side that have pulled over. They go kind of on the side of them, and you see a couple like 2 drones like up above them, and a couple more that are sweeping in from kind of like north and south of it, making their way towards this area, and start to slow down as they reach kind of where the house is, and you've got all of the people.
Okay. All right. And so how many drones did you say there were?
There's 2 of them essentially directly above the car itself, and you saw that there were 2 that essentially swung out. One was coming essentially house side, one was going on the opposite side to do recon.
Okay. All right. I'm listening for what the crowd is doing. What kind of sound level? What are they like, chanting or anything? Is there any kind of...
Yeah, as the cars started pulling up, because these cars look not limo-ish, but they are armored. Their windows tinted. These look like the kind of things that like a Calico North might arrive in. There's sort of like a hush coming up, and people have brought some of their own music, and her music is sort of blaring out. But the crowd itself is now looking at these cars as they're making their way towards where sort of the driveway is and slowing down. They're sort of slowly starting to come and take a look. You can't quite see inside of them.
Okay.
There's one of the drones is basically come up over like over the barn and sort of heading around. And it seems to be essentially checking out the crowd.
Okay. I'm going to let it hover for a little bit. And once I'm going to try to time a shot with the surge in crowd noise. I know.
Sounds like a Hitman thing.
Well, my
wait for the meter. Wait for the meter.
Fire.
Yeah. So I'm going to assume this is going to be undershoot.
Nah, use hat. No.
I have intuitive as one of my my skills.
Well, that's good. That should work.
So I'm going to use that as my basis for this. And once there's a surge in the crowd noise, I'm going to take a shot at that drone.
Okay.
All right. Anybody have a problem with this?
No.
That's the way I see it going down.
I can see how it could go ugly on us, but
I'm sure.
I mean, if they're somebody who notices that their drone is suddenly offline, that might be a problem. But hopefully, they're not terribly observant. So hopefully, they're more freaked out by the crowd as they're like,
"All right,
hey, we're showing up our prisoner exchange, and now suddenly, where all these people come from?"
Right.
So the 3.1 will be enough to hit it. Now you've got the buzzer is the thing that you're attacking. Like you essentially know they've got like a cam gun, they've got some infrared and some other stuff on them.
Right.
But because they are relatively slow moving, when they're moving, it's not necessarily all that hard to hit them if they're not like specifically dodging out of the way. So at this point, it wasn't. So do you want to make it fleeting by, or do you have? You use both of your. You use no push dice. So, what would you like to put on it? And do you want to have it sticky or fleeting? Fleeting means that like if you spend no push dice, it could eventually just be sort of reactivated. Sticky means that someone's going to have to come and do a little something to it, like fix a little bit before it can kind of get up and do things. If you had 3, permanent would totally destroy it.
Well, I don't want to totally destroy it. I want it to be incapacitated. And that, I don't plan on being here long, so fleeting should be enough for right now.
Okay. So
if not, I'll shoot it again.
Well, Bill, shoot it again.
So right now, as you kind of you hit it.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, the person who's operating is going to be immediately aware of what's going on.
Of course.
And this, from what you can see, the other ones.
Bless you.
Lord. The other ones were just surveillance drones. This is the only one that seemed to have some weapons and such on it. So basically, the other ones are probably a little more automatic. So as it goes out, like you haven't quite hit it hard enough to knock shit out, but you have at least like temporarily knocked it offline until someone can kind of take an action or something to get it going again. So it goes. At which point, like the people in the cars are very quickly going to know what's going on. You're probably all in contact through cybernetics and such. What do the rest of you do? Or David, do you tell them anything or?
No, I'm just waiting to see what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Have they popped out of the vehicle yet at all?
If you wait a little bit after, after the drone goes down.
Well, you know what? All right. So once I could see that they were coming in, I'm going down. So I'm down. It's basically at the door of the barn, and so when they pull up, I just kind of saunter out, and I'm looking at my watch. You know, like even though I may or may not be wearing. Well, yeah, I'm old fashioned enough. I'm wearing a watch. I look at my watch. I'm like, God, you're annoying. You know, kind of like, really? You're late on top of that? What the hell? I got things to do. You're wasting my time. Even though I was, I look like a dirtbag detective, basically. So, but I'm acting, I'm kind of making the look like I'm some sort of, high profile business guy who's got, really tight deadlines, and you're, totally wasting my time.
Okay, so you see there's a kind of an older looking guy that gets out of the car and they're sort of looking around and brings Calico. And Calico's looking terrified. She sees the crowd. She lights up a little bit, but you can kind of see in her eyes that she's a little freaked out. He's got like a coat over one hand and a play way that you're pretty sure there's a gun pointed at her, and then another guy gets out.
I'd be disappointed if it wasn't.
Another guy gets out of the other side and is sort of scanning the crowd as they get out. Are you in a place where he can see you?
Yeah, not. I mean, I'm not like standing in the middle of nowhere, but I'm close enough that if I, in a heartbeat, I could be behind cover. But
Okay.
the point being is, I'm kind of standing out there, looking nonchalant, like I'm almost looking bored.
So, David, you're like one of the windows of the house, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Upstairs? And Luis, where are you at?
I'm still with the Penn and Evangeline at the APC.
Okay,
So you're inside the barn.
Yeah, I'd be inside the barn, but
Yep.
the idea is to keep an eye on them.
So people start kind of going nuts, and he kind of holds them back a little bit. They look like bodyguards. Got one arm on her shoulder. The other guy kind of comes up on the other side as they come through, and the people you should be like, Calico! Ah! So people's like, I love you. One guy like lifts up his shirt, and he has got like a full body tattoo of her, like on his chest.
The freaks are out. Perfect.
Yeah, and there's like you see like calico things people are wearing, like everything they can to make them say like we are big ass fans of calicos. And the guy sort of kind of comes up towards you if you're sort of conspicuous in the place. And she's
I'm pretty obvious at this point.
Yeah, she's sort of with, and she's like, Nick, hi. And Leori is just
hey, babe.
at you and goes, do you have something that belongs to us?
Yeah, but first you got what belongs to me, and as you can see, you're gonna do what I asked, because you know what, I'm in charge here, not you, pal. All right, do you let her go, and I'll tell you where it is.
At that point, he sort of grins a bit, and you can almost see like a little bit of the barrel poking into her.
I'm like, I like to look at him and go, really? Seriously? Dude, I'm like, hello, did you not see the tattoo guy? I'm giving him that look. Like, I'm not saying anything, but it's kind of like the hand gesture, kind of like, what are you doing?
So at that point,
you're a complete idiot. Look at all these people around here.
Yeah,
I'm looking at them. Look at all these people around here. You're going to pull something? Give me a break.
As he does that, like there's a look in his eye. So the hurt dice is for all the people that are sort of hanging around, which takes away the one of the 4 from the push dice that he had. But I did roll 2 6s. So he's going to put...
crap, I didn't see that.
So what I'm going to have him do is I'm going to have him put a... Let me make a note that I have 2 discharge. I'm also going to get rid of 1 entirely, and then 1 will go to you. He's going to put a sticky uncertain on you, because there's a look in this guy's eyes like he has been through some of this stuff before, and he is absolutely willing to deal with the chaos that might happen. And he's just like, you think I don't have all of the power and all the resources of an entire megacorp to take care of this and maybe kill everybody here if you don't?
And I look at him and go, and you think I got anything to lose? I look at her and I go, don't worry, babe. I'll take care of this. I mean, I know I've got that uncertain going on me there.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
But it's still,
I forgot.
So I'm sweating a little bit, but even though it's cold out here.
Yeah, he should have had 2 hurt dice. One for the unsure you put on him, and 1 for the crowd of people.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so it wouldn't have made a difference though. So,
All right.
we can do a trade, and all of us can go back to our lives. Actually, it's probably more like, we can do a trade! And it's just the people are yelling and screaming. It's very hard to be quietly speaking when everyone's yelling around you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Trying to see it. Is there anybody maybe who looks like they might be... You know, some people look like they're going to jump a line. You know, all it takes is a little bit of encouragement.
Oh, I mean, Calico's fans are not like we're going to wait nicely in line, folks. They are the kind that go a little bit crazy.
Right. And that's what I'm trying to get at is trying to kind of like see if there's one. That's how I want to use a detect, is see if maybe looks like one that if I were to give him the nod, he'd come running through as a distraction.
Okay.
So, detect. I'll use my alert, I guess. Not that I'm going to spend any. I'm not going to spend any dice. It's just more of a. Let's see what happens.
You don't need a big one. You just need a little one.
All right. Yeah. All right. Boom. Oh, forgot.
So it'll be against his detect, which is a 2, because basically he's trying to see if you
Oh,
can catch
that's a
what
6, baby.
So you put a line rusher.
Yeah, that's. I just want to kind of pull somebody out who's going to run up to try to run up and hug, get a hug from her, or maybe run up try to take a selfie. That's what I really want. That's what I want. I want a guy to run up and take a selfie with him and the goons. So this guy's now on camera.
Okay.
And let's see what the bodyguards are going to do. It's basically I'm trying to create a distraction so I can I want basically it's kind of hey, is that a and then have some guy jump running out, and when he does that, I'm looking right at Calico, gonna give her that little head nod, come here, kind of look. So basically, when that guy jumps the line, he goes, or jumps out of line there and go running after her and run up and take a selfie. That's enough of a distraction that maybe she can bolt our direction.
Okay. And when that happens, I will say also
kind of testing this guy, see how far he's willing to really go.
David, you notice at this point the drone that hit the ground starts to rise its way. It's made its way back up.
Okay. Okay.
And it's starting to go. So as the guy rushes in, we'll say it gives her enough of a beat to sort of you give her a look like you can make a run for it.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
like she should come to you, or are you sort of trying to shunt her somewhere else?
No, I want her to. It's sort of I want her to come to me so we can get in the barn.
Okay. So yeah, she as they kind of come in, as the guy, the kid rushes in and bumps straight into the guy. So you actually see he's got the coat and the gun and is knocked a little backwards as he goes for the click. And the other bodyguard next to him hadn't grabbed her, but was more keeping people at bay. And then she sprints towards you.
Sweet.
What is everyone else? So at this point, you're aware this is happening. What is everyone else doing while? Because in a moment, these two are professionals, so they will be kind of back on it because they're ready to push this kid out of the way. What is everybody doing?
Okay, first off, where the drone was on the ground, where it starts to rise, are there people around it?
No, it was actually kind of a bit closer to the house than everybody else's.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to attempt to completely disable it with a second shot because I'm assuming once this happens, the guy runs in with the selfie, there's going to be a surge in the crowd noise.
Yep.
And I'm going to use that opportunity to take another shot at old drone.
Okay. It's now moving a little bit more defensively, so it'll be a little harder because it wasn't just checking stuff out.
Right.
Now it is aware there is someone firing.
Okay.
All right. When he's shooting real quick, I'm basically going to point at the guys as she starts to run toward me. I'm just going to point at the guys and go, "They've got the tickets! Get them!"
And Luis, what are you doing?
So I'd be getting Evangeline and ready to kind of, because we're on comms of some sort. Mm-hmm. So she's all right, assuming she's been woken back up.
Yeah, because her thing is it puts her out very quickly, but the adrenaline burst brings her up real fast because when she's awake, she's in a good amount of pain. So they've got the thing hooked up where they can. It's one of the things they've used to keep her alive.
Sure. So I'll just kind of all right, well, here goes nothing. And get them to kind of get ready to go when need be. And if Calico ever gets the crowd in between herself and the bodyguards, then I'd like to get the vehicle swung so the back is towards her and it out of the barn, obviously. But so just getting ready.
And so Penn looks at you and goes, "What exactly is the plan after we've driven over their cars or done something?"
Well, I believe the phrase "get the fuck out of Dodge" comes to mind.
Well, mostly the plan right now is to get Calico safe. And I think you can understand that sometimes when getting someone safe is the primary goal, next was a little hard. But we need to keep going, so we'll probably try hiding amongst the city for a little while rather than hiding outside of it, because I don't think we can stay anywhere around here.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think so. It sounds like you're trying to flee to the vehicle, Marcus?
Well, right. It's kind of run toward her.
Okay.
I can, basically grab her hand. Like I run a little bit, like halfway. She comes most of the way. I grab her hand, and the two of us are beating feet for the barn, and go. We need to ride out of here.
Yep. And then the vehicle would swing out.
So while that's happening, so you're on their way. They are going to attempt to shoot. Now, as he kind of throws down the thing, and it's going. There's a whole bunch of chaos around him. He's got 2 hurt dice. He's still got the uncertain. He's got. Actually, we'll give him 3 because the selfie stuff is still fleeting and caused some problems. What's your move?
Mine?
Yep.
2.
Okay.
Now, do I have a? I'm wondering if there's any element in there about the trying to get, because when I pointed to they've got the tickets. I was pointing to the 2 goons.
Because it's gonna take a little bit for them to.
Right. No, I mean, but that's the thought process. Just to let you know.
Yeah, he'll use 1 push dice for the gun there. Okay, so but your move is 2. He has a 2.1.
Yep.
I am going to.
Oh my god, those hurt dice are nasty.
You get another push dice, so you're now. Or I'm sorry. We'll take. You get 2 actually. You're up to 4, and give yourself a sticky shoulder wound.
Ow! I don't like that sticky shoulder wound.
As you go, as the 2 of you are running towards the barn, it takes a chunk out of your shoulder, and you just feel like the blood sort of kind of coming from inside of your coat. Luis, are you all hauling ass out of the barn? You hear the gunshot?
Yeah. So we're getting as close to the crowd as we can, ideally without running down innocent civilians. But yeah, and then getting the back door or that how we got in, basically getting that ready.
So yeah, as I'm assuming Marcus and Calico are rushing in. And
oh yeah,
David.
There we go.
Oh, nice.
Okay, yeah. So, what do you want? What are you trying to put on?
Disable.
Okay, you want to. So you have 2 dice. You use 1 push die. Do you want to make that sticky or?
Yes, sticky.
Okay. So you will spend that 1 die. So you'll have 1 left.
Yep.
And you kind of shit. It knocks him flat on his ass. I say at this point, Nick and Calico will be able to get into the APC. David, you are still essentially on the 2nd floor of the house. What do you do?
Yes, I'm just going to tell them, go ahead. I will find my way back. I'm going to mingle in with the crowd and pretend to be a celebratory patron of the festival.
Okay, go ahead and make a prowl roll just to see, because some of the other ones kind of come around to see if you are able to, if they're able to detect you or not. Okay, right. Yeah, you managed. So basically, the rest of you just sort of haul ass out onto the.
Yeah, if we could drive over the vehicles on the way out.
You destroy a fan's vehicle or 2 as well. It just goes over it. You just.
Well, and if at all, because you said they arrived in sort of like armored limos as well.
Yeah.
It'd probably be best if we at least tried to T-bone one of those.
Oh,
to
yeah.
Try and
then, I mean, even driving over them, they're designed to take gunshots, not have a armored big ass APC roll over them.
They're not meant for Gron to hit them.
Nothing is APC proof.
Yeah, you're inside this thing. Kind of going at David. You see everyone. There's one guy saying, "That's my car. Calico destroyed my car, and someone got shot. This is awesome."
Calico destroyed my car. I'm getting this on TV on YouTube, man. No problem.
And a couple of the others, as it goes over, the doors open up and people dive out of the thing as the cars kind of go over, and then that place starts heading way for the background. At this point, I think, Luis, you said you had to go a little bit early tonight to take care of some stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Hey, we got out of Dodge, we got okay, and we got her back. Go for us.
All right, wonderful.
Cool. So at that point, I don't think anybody actually missed anything. So they're
Nope.
missing the rolls.
Hello.
No, stop.
So I'm guessing next week for the third of 3.
Yep.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Yep, sounds good.
Cool. Then I will catch y'all later.
All right,
Hey, thanks a lot.
Have yourself a good evening.
Hi, guys.
Later.
Bye.